Um, I don't really know how to start this, but I've been. Well, this all kind of started last night. I just was thinking a lot, and I was really late at night, really early in the morning. It was just I feel like I just need a way to get all my thoughts out. So I decided to create this YouTube channel, just as like a little visual diary or like a video diary and stuff, and post it online. Maybe. Sorry, I just got out of the shower like 15 minutes ago, so my hair's a little wet. But I used to write a lot of poetry when I probably like a year ago now. I stopped. Maybe it was a little less than that. Who knows? But ever since then, I kind of didn't really know how to get all my feelings down, and I realized writing, it's like too much of an effort, like you gotta move your hands and you write with the pencil and shit, and that makes me sound really lazy, but I don't know, I don't like that. I like to think that I'm not lazy. It feels just so much easier just to get all my ideas out, like just talking, even though like I'm not even talking to anyone in particular. I'm just kind of hooting and hollering. But I've always felt like poetry, people try to hide behind all these gay metaphors, like all these weird, like, oh, actually, like, this is why I fucking hate Shakespeare so much. These stupid English teachers make us read this gay Shakespeare novel, and it's like, he isn't even talking like a real human being. No one talks like that, and you're not cool. You're just being performative. You're trying to act smart for your audience of 50-year-old, 40-year-old middle-aged women who teach middle schoolers or high schoolers. I just feel like, just say it as it is, just like, you don't have to hide behind, you don't have to dissect it layer by layer. Just, you should have the courage to just say it with your chest, without having to talk like a Dr. Seuss character, make up words and use all these crazy metaphors and all this figurative language. And it's not even the figurative language that helps you see it more. It's just like comparing something to some other thing, or using all this weird vocabulary. Like, no one's gonna want to read that. And the only people who want to read that just want to feel smart and feel better than everybody else. Just, say it with your chest. Write it with your chest, at least. That's why I always preferred just listening to people, listening to podcasts, seeing how other people, just talk to people. Like, talk like a real human being. There's a lot on my mind, and I just want to get it all out. I mean, I'm going back to school soon. When I'm recording this, it's the beginning of August 10th, 2025. Going into my senior year of high school. And mind you, I live in the DMV area, so, DMV has a lot of, it's hard to describe, but the schools there are very different. I feel like they're a lot different from all the other schools in the DMV. Like, I feel like most of the kids here act like, I know everybody likes to describe people who are uninteresting as NPCs, but it's not even the fact they're like uninteresting. It's the fact that they're like copied and pasted from, just like, it's the same person, Control C, Control V, and They all have either dyed blonde hair, like what I like to call the 6'7" cut, because it's all the baseball players with the ice cream shorts and the broccoli haircut, the ice cream haircut, and it's like, I feel like there's nobody I can relate to at school. There's like barely any alternative people at school. There's like one alternative person, and I don't think they even like me because they're kind of an asshole anyways. I don't know. That's a whole other video of its own. But again, that just comes back to that idea, like, where am I supposed to get my ideas out? Where am I supposed to talk to people? Because, I mean, I love my friends. I love all my friends, but, like, I've never met an alternative person. I've never been friends with another alternative person. Someone, who dresses like me or listens to the same music as me, like, kind of. I've dated I've dated people like that, but I've only been friends with, like, few people in real life who listen to, like, death metal or grindcore or, like doom metal or, like, extreme metal and stuff, like, and not just, like, the whole, like, most of the metal, like, well, self-proclaimed metalheads I talk to are, like, they all listen to new metal. They all listen to fucking Slipknot and shit. And, I can respect Slipknot for helping me get into metal, but they suck ass. I mean, come on, let's be real. First two albums aren't that bad, but once you get to volume 3, it's terrible, awful shit. I can't see how anybody can listen to that. Oh, excuse me. But again, that comes back to, like, where am I supposed to get my ideas out? Where am I supposed to talk to people? And so that's another reason. I feel like most of the teachers at school, like, are also uninteresting. They're either, like, I feel like I've only had, like, a few male teachers that aren't fucking gym teachers either. There's, like, there's Mr. Batson in middle school. He was cool. He liked Iron Maiden, like the old 80s stuff, not really like the new, or like or even the old school death metal. But I don't know, I just want somebody to listen, but I don't want people to listen, because sometimes I want to be vulnerable, and I want to be, like, I want to act, like I know this sounds corny, but my true self, like, I want to be able to voice my opinions and my ideas to other people, but I don't want people to see it, That's why I never really shared a lot of my poetry, even when I was in, like, therapy with, like, group therapy, or, like, even, like, just one-on-one therapy, like, with a therapist. I never really liked sharing my poetry because it felt so embarrassing. If it was, poetry to a girl, or if it was poetry about my own life, I just felt so gay, and, like it felt like the Sigma Wolf edits of people, like, that kind of stuff. And I don't know. When I was going out with this one girl, the most recent girl I went out with, her name was Sydney, and, I would write a lot of poetry to her. I would write these beautiful, beautiful poetry, this beautiful poetry, and, she would tell me about how much she loved me and shit. But, I don't think either of us really did, because, like, that was, like, my first real girlfriend, I guess. I dated one girl before, but didn't really count, Well, it was like 2 years ago when we broke up. like 2 school years ago. Like I was in sophomore year. Now I'm going into senior year. So all throughout junior year I was single. All throughout freshman year I was single. I'm most likely going to be single throughout senior year too, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I do, miss the feeling of being loved and miss the feeling, well, I am loved, I know that, I just miss the feeling of being loved in like a romantic sense, and, it's always nice to like be on such an intimate level with somebody, but it's not always like the best feeling when, that inevitable, like, breakup, And I know that kind of sounds like such a insult, like, thing to say, but, like, think about it like Henry Rollins, Like, some girls are just a waste of time. That's why he never got married, or never had a real girlfriend. It's another really talented poet, another talented lyricist, But yeah. Anyways, I just feel like, my relationship with like poetry and stuff just, it always felt kind of forced. But I didn't really realize it until like I kind of broke up with Sydney, and it was like I reached this kind of, like, it just flipped a switch ever since she said like, oh yeah, we should definitely break up. And ever since she said that, I feel like my life has just been on like a incline, Like, I realized she was really bringing me down. And whether that's a female thing in general, or that's just, and again, this feels like a really incel thing to say. And, I could go on my own rant about incels all day and how fucking gay and retarded it is. But, yeah, I tried to write some poetry after that, but I didn't feel the kind of connection that I did when I was in a relationship, because I felt like I had something to live for, and I had something to write for, actually, But hopefully this will be a good way to get my thoughts down.